Joining me in studio right now, the Ag Commissioner for the state of Texas. It is Sid Miller. Welcome to the show.
It's good to be back, Chad. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. And swing that mic just a little bit more towards you. That's great. You're out in Lubbock today. You've been taking a little bit of a West Texas tour, I guess, correct?
I have. I came in out Wednesday to Hereford and spoke at the Spicer Grip Memorial dinner that night. Made some rounds all up around Amarillo yesterday and started my morning in Hereford and over to Floydada this morning, and of course now I'm here with you.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you coming in today. What are you hearing from our ag producers and ag community out here in West Texas?
Well, most of them, the crops are looking pretty good. The cotton's wilting, and the heat is really starting to take its toll on it. We need some rain. Of course, that's, we always need rain, seems like, out in this part of the country. But the corn that's coming in looks like a pretty good crop. So with a little rain, we could have a bumper crop of cotton yet.
That's good. And tell folks what you've been up to. As you came into office and you've changed a few things around, made some headlines, and gotten some stuff done.
We have. We made a lot of changes. Of course, we've put a real strong emphasis on our marketing program. Of course, it's our Go Texan program, is our marketing program, which has been around a while. And it was originally put in to help small producers get their product to market, and we still do that, but we've expanded that. I now have a global outreach initiative. The first 12 months in office, we were on every continent on the globe, marketing Texas agriculture and non-agriculture products. So we've taken it on. If it's made in Texas, we're going to promote it. We're kind of the Chamber of Commerce. So, we've been to dozens and dozens of places overseas. I spent some time in China. Very successful trip, 11 days there. Really made some headway for our Texas pecan producers while we were there.
Right.
My deputy, my number 2 guy, just got back from Argentina. We'll be going to Paraguay next month or at the end of the month. During the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is our largest international participation. We hosted 18 countries from Central and South America. And of course, 2 days ago, it was announced that Brazil is now going to let U.S. beef be imported into Brazil, which is great. And I'm not saying we did all of that, but we played a part of that, getting beef. So our athletes going for gold, competing for gold down there won't be the only ones. We'll have our ranchers competing for the beef market down in Brazil, too.
That's great. Well, and it's probably something that when you run into a Texan who – in their everyday life thinks they have nothing to do with the ag community, right?
Right.
They probably have no idea how tied in global trade and trade into the ag community really is.
Well, it is. It's part of our economy. Actually, agriculture is a $115 billion industry in Texas, second only to oil and gas. And if it goes under $30 a barrel, we may be first. I hope not. Yeah. But 1 in 7 jobs in this state are somehow related to agriculture. So, yeah, it's a big part of what we do in Texas. And the Texas Agriculture Department touches your life more times in one day than any other state agency.
Yeah, absolutely. We're visiting with Sid Miller, the commissioner of Ag Commissioner here in the state of Texas. You've been traveling around West Texas. How does West Texas, when it comes to the ag community in West Texas, how does that compare to some of the other places in the state?
Well, the High Plains is a very rich and fertile ground for our row crop farmers. Of course, we have a lot of dairies out here now. Milk production is really increasing and continues to increase out here. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have our feedlot operators. A lot of most of our feedlots are in this area of the state, from Lubbock north to Hereford and Amarillo. So it's a huge agriculture region. A lot of our seed production is actually done in this part of the state, and we certify the seed, and it's sent all around the globe. Can you hang around for one more segment? Absolutely. All right, great. When we come back, we will have some breaking news, I guess, or some exclusive news maybe with Commissioner Sid Miller. Also, we'll talk about our ag producers here and what they want elected officials in Washington to know about what's happening. We'll be right back. Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller in studio, which, again, appreciate you coming in. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about elected officials and maybe one that will become an elected official. You are part of the Donald Trump Ag
team, I guess, for
Right. We'll be in, actually, we haven't announced that yet. It'll be coming out officially next week, probably early in the week, maybe no later than midweek. But there is a national organization of us. I'm a national co-chair. Of course, my emphasis will be carrying Texas for the ag industry for Trump. Mm-hmm. So we're putting a coalition together. And personally, I think Donald Trump will be great for agriculture. Number one, he'll appoint conservative judges to the courts. Number two, he'll get government regulation like WOTUS and Waters of the U.S. and the EPA and the Corps of Engineers and the BLM and the Endangered Species Act. You know, he understands overregulation, and I think that'll be tremendous for our producers. But above all, he wants to be known. His legacy is the president that cut the good deals. You know, his book is Art of the Deal. He's a deal maker. I mean, that's his whole mantra.
Right.
So I think, you know, the TPP has about a 20% chance of passing here in the lame duck, so I don't think it's going anywhere. So I would rather have him renegotiating that as Hillary Clinton. And trade with China, you know, he'll shore that up. And when it does, we won't be selling them TVs and appliances. We'll be selling them beef and poultry and pork and grain sorghum and rice and soybeans and corn and, you know, agriculture. I think it'd be outstanding for agriculture, and he'll boost our exports. And one other thing, when he gets elected and the day he takes office, America will get our respect back around the world, because his personality is, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you twice.
Right.
So he's not going to take any of this, you know.
Now, obviously, you're going to be pushing Texas as the co-chair. One thing that we hear a lot about here on this show, and you know, you probably hear a lot about this, being ag commissioner, is Farm Bill, and that it's just killing the ag producers out here. What is something that, if you were to sit down with Donald Trump, if he's elected, you were to sit down with Donald Trump and talk to him about the Farm Bill and talk about Texas ag and cotton and what we're seeing out here in West Texas, what's a message that you would send to him?
Well, of course, that's the good thing about Donald Trump. You have to realize that he has over 9,000 employees. And his management method is find people that are the very best he can, that are better than he is, and put them in charge and let them do their job. So I can certainly envision what you're saying. He'll bring in all this ag leaders, these groups that we're forming of major leaders in the agriculture states, and he'll, you know, sit down with us and say, so how do we do this deal? Who do we put in charge? And for this area of the state, I would say the Farm Bill that we have was created when commodity prices were high. Well, commodity prices are extremely low now, so it's not working, and it needs to be redone. Specifically in cotton, cotton needs to be classified as an oil seed. It was not in the last Farm Bill. Wow. I have written letters and asked the current Secretary of Agriculture, Vilsack, to go ahead and do that, and I think he has the power to do it, but he has refused to do that, and it has not happened. So that would be one small thing that I would ask for our cotton farmers, is to get that cotton seed to be classified as an oil seed.
Would you, if Donald Trump asked you to serve in the administration, would you want to? You
know, I'd have to pray about it and think about it and, certainly consider it. But right now, I've got the best job in the state of Texas, being Agriculture Commissioner. I mean, I love this job. I don't want to run for lieutenant governor. That'd be a step down for me. I mean, I've got the best job there is.
Visiting with Sid Miller, Ag Commissioner here in the state of Texas. You handed me a brochure when you came in, and it was about global trade and about the trade initiative that the state has. You had a group of folks who went to Cuba at one point to talk trade in Cuba, which every time people hear that, it's fascinating, because Cuba's opening up. Don't know what the future is going to hold, but while there may not be a major trade partner, there is an opening there for the state.
We took a group, a couple of our key legislators down there with us, key agricultural industry with us, and producers. We actually have been selling Cuba product for several years under a humanitarian food aid carve-out. Mm-hmm. So we've sent them grain, sorghum, and rice before. That's not new. So, Obama made this deal, and it wasn't a very good deal. I mean, we gave away a lot and got nothing. I would have liked to have made that deal, but I think we could have made a lot better trade. But it is what it is. So we're going after that. What it does is allow us now to sell farm equipment down there. We haven't done that before. They're poor as church mice, though. They don't have any money, so we'll probably end up selling some used equipment. We'll get rid of some scrap iron around here, which is good, which helps our farmers be able to buy new equipment to get rid of their used equipment. We'll be able to possibly move in some timber products. Florida's just 90 miles there, but the relationship is not good, so we think we have an opportunity in our timber industry to send some timber down there. But you have to put this in perspective. There's, a little over 11 million people there, and they have no money.
Right.
So that's the same number of people as in Los Angeles County.
Right.
So, how much effort do you want to, would the effort be better spent in Los Angeles County marketing or in the Cuba? But it's something we've obviously taken an interest in since we've been down there, and we've built those relationships with those. Our best prospect is with the hotel industry. They would certainly like to have our products down there, and our quality beef and pork and poultry and all of our winter garden area, our fresh fruits and vegetables. They have a tough time on that, so I think eventually even though we're in the market in Cuba,
right,
we will expand those markets.
What do you? What is the biggest emerging market right now for Texas agriculture?
This will probably surprise you, but the fastest growing market has been the wine industry and in the distilled spirits industry. We're number 3 in distilled spirits, only to Tennessee and Kentucky. We're about number 4 in the wine industry, but by far the fastest growing segment of agriculture in Texas is the olive industry.
Really?
Yes, it is growing at a very rapid pace. We still don't have many acres, but we've gone from a few acres to over 1,000 acres, and there's some big proposals down in the Victoria area of the state, kind of the coastal bend, to put in several large olive groves down there. So we're excited about that, and we're working with our through our specialty crop program and our Go Texan program to help get those people up and running.
Going through the literature that you brought in, and you were, I'm sure as you've been touring West Texas and talking to people about, you have, it is Friday, Farm Fresh Friday. So
That's right.
What's that all about?
Well, Chad, when I was running, the Dripping Springs ISD came up with this program. They thought it was just great. They came up with Meatless Mondays in their school. I mean, in Texas, really? Meatless Monday? Come on. Holy cow.
I'm glad I didn't go to that school.
So to combat that, I thought about that. I said, we need to connect our farmers and ranchers with our school lunch cafeterias and have locally sourced products. So I came up with this idea called Farm Fresh Fridays, and we've done that. It was very successful. This will be our second year to do that. So we link up every Friday. We challenge our school cafeterias to have locally sourced produce and meats on the menu. And then on top of that, we have Meet the Farmer Day on Friday, and we'll bring in a dairyman, or we'll bring in a row crop farmer, or we'll bring in a tomato producer. And then we've collaborated with our schools, and we have school gardens, and we let these elementary kids get their hands in the dirt and see what's growing. So, because right now we want them to teach them that heat doesn't necessarily come from the furnace, and that food doesn't necessarily just come from the grocery store. So, our slogan now that I'm the new Commissioner of Agriculture is Texas Agriculture Matters. And by the way, we had that before. Black Lives Matters and Blue Lives Matters. we were long before that. So
you're not trying to be controversial now.
No. We had that long before. Texas Agriculture Matters. It's on just about everything we produce.
A lot of our rural community. We have a lot of rural communities, obviously, out here in West Texas. Your office has awarded $73 million in grants.
That's
right.
That right. We do all the infrastructure for the rural counties and cities, so they look to us for infrastructure help. We also house the Office of Rural Health Care at the Texas Department of Agriculture. So we're trying to recruit and retain doctors and nurses and pharmacists throughout the state. And we have a telemedicine program we're working on right here with Texas Tech, pilot program in 9 counties to link our first responders, basically our volunteer fire departments in the rural areas, with the Texas Tech Medical School. We have another similar project we're working with, the Shriners Burn Hospital for Children in Galveston. Just if it's an oil field fire, or those first 15 or 20 minutes of a burn victim is very critical in the survivability. And of course, out here in West Texas, you could be an hour and a half or 2 hours away from a trauma hospital. Yeah. So we're working on that and making some headway on that.
What do you think what does the future hold for the Texas Department of Agriculture?
I think we'll continue to serve the people of Texas. We'll continue to protect our consumers. We are the consumer protection agency for the state. We do all the weights and measures. So every fuel pump in the state, you'll see our sticker on it. And if we do not only do we make sure when you put in 10 gallons of gas that you get 10 gallons of gas, but we check that fuel quality and the octane rating. But we also do all the scales in the state. So we go into not only grocery stores and feed stores, but every tobacco shop, yogurt shop, pawn shop, every Starbucks in the state, and we even do the lottery balls. We're the ones that certify the lottery balls. So we don't tolerate cattle rustlers, horse thieves, or cheats.
Before I let you go, if you could send a message to the elected officials who are in this area, or state officials who go to Washington D.C. when it comes to ag, what you're hearing from the people on the ground, what message can you send to our elected officials in Washington?
Well, it's the same one we say over and over and over. Texas agriculture matters. And we also have a saying in Austin, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. So we want to make sure that we have a seat on the table.
Do you think that message is getting across to the elected officials, or have they ignored agriculture too much, you think?
No, I think it is. We spend a lot of time with the Texas delegation. I've made several trips, probably every other month. I'm in D.C. With our Texas delegation, making sure that they're taking care of our Texas shrimpers, or our Texas wine industry, or our cotton industry, or I constantly go up there and fight the EPA and the WOTUS and the Corps of Engineers and the BLM and all the other three-lettered, federal agencies that make me want to scream four-letter words.
Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller, as always, appreciate your time and great seeing you.
All right. Thank you.